Here we are again with Jenna Clark.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Well, this is the part of your show where we get a little bit more personal and we find out about you, the person, and the artist. I guess for starters, what made you want to do this?
I didn't really have a choice.
It's just in your blood?
It's just there as long as I can remember. I've wanted to be a songwriter, and I grew up listening to a lot of music. And
You said you grew up in Florida.
I did, yeah.
So tell everybody about that. You know, where and when.
Yeah, I grew up in Ocala, Florida. I was there until I was about 21 years old. Mom and Dad lived there still, and I took music lessons from the time I was 11 till I moved out at 21 from the same guy down the street. His name is Nolan Drudge, and he's an older man. He grew up in the revolution of rock and roll as well. You know, I got a vintage car parked in his garage and taught me everything that I know about blues music and how I play. And
Nice.
yeah.
Now, you met, you said that you met Ken Gaines at an early age, a good friend of ours, and you met him because your parents did house concerts.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, I know Ken Gaines. I've known him for most of my life, really. He has done several house shows at my parents' house in Florida, and he and Karen Mal would come once every couple years or so, and I really latched on to those two.
They're both
being a young
outstanding.
mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they think the world of you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They really
I remember asking them questions. You know, how do you do it? What does it take?
Mm-hmm.
So what does it take, do you think? If you were going to advise somebody today after doing it for a few years, what do you feel like you would tell them that they've got to do to get to do it?
Well, multiple streams of income. That's for sure, especially now. I also think that you just gotta do it. You just gotta be unafraid to speak the truth and what you really think. And I think that was probably the hardest evolution for me through songwriting over the years.
Right.
And how you feel is the truth,
Right.
as you see it. You know,
Yeah.
that's a cool thing.
Yeah. Now you have, how many albums do you have?
I have a full-length record, and then I put out an EP a couple years ago.
And what, you have a new album coming out. When's that due to be released?
I do. I'm going back in the studio to finish it, so
Okay.
we still got some time there. But I'm thinking next year
Good.
it will be out there.
And the way that people can find out more about that is at your website,
Yes.
which is
That's
JennaClarkOfficial.com.
Official.com.
That's
And
Okay.
it's Jenna with 2 N's.
That's correct.
All right.
And Clark with no final E.
You're right.
So when you were growing up, I know you said that you listened to a lot of music. Who would you say, artist-wise, was probably some of your most influential towards what you're doing today?
I had a lot of different influence based on what my parents listened to, in addition to what I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
I think the music I'm writing right now is more reminiscent of sort of their record collection, you know, Jackson Browne and so the singer-songwriter era of 60s, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And
It was a great era.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, I'm actually working on a separate project in the studio surrounding more of a Joni Mitchell, Glenn Campbell sound, in addition to the record that's coming out next year. So that will probably take me a couple of years to complete.
Yeah.
So it's kind of on the back burner right now. But
Who are you listening to right now?
I've dug into a lot of Glenn Campbell and Joni Mitchell lately. I've also spent a lot of time with country music lately.
Are you talking about the old country or today's newer
Yes,
country?
old country.
I hear that more in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to do my research on the roots of
Mm-hmm.
just sort of specific songwriting styles that I pick out and what I hear, and sometimes I will kind of take note of a specific feel,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
And I will get attached to that feel, and I will go and identify with other artists within that genre and time period, and I just kind of collectively continue to listen to new music consistently.
Oh yeah, there's always something new, always something to incorporate into you and your sound. Do you have any siblings, or are you an only child?
I'm third of 4.
Oh, okay. Are they musical as well?
Yes, we all play. My dad plays. My mom played when she was a kid. My siblings played. They
Yeah.
don't really play much anymore. I'd say I'm probably the most serious about music
Right.
on a professional scale.
So you came by it honestly. That's good. And I'm sure they're supportive of what you do, being that they're so into it themselves.
Growing up, not so much.
No?
No. I wanted to drop out of high school and do the thing, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, my parents wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is better in the long run, but I did end up, picking up a job by the time I was 15 to pay for my own music lessons and continue to stay serious about it, even though my parents told me that I needed to figure out a career.
Say, this is it.
And your career could be multiple incomes.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah.
And that's where I am now.
You had said earlier when we were chatting that you feel like you're dominantly Dallas based or Dallas regional based, and that you're not doing a lot of traveling right now. But if you were,
If
you were,
I'd go anywhere.
where would you most like, if you could just like go on a tour and do a tour of one country, what would that be?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to getting into a Texas circuit of some kind after this next record comes out. I also, have a lot of roots obviously down in Florida, so I've always thought East
Would you like to go
Coast.
conquer Florida?
Oh yeah.
Go home and conquer Florida?
Beach gigs all the way down, sure. Why
Oh,
not?
yeah. And we have lots of singer-songwriter people that we know that
Down
are
both
down there.
coasts.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
yeah. So let us know, we can hook you up.
Yeah, please do.
There's in your voice I find kind of an eternal sound of kind of like I was talking to you about earlier, of bluesy but folky. I hear folk intertwining, and you were mentioning that you were studying some of the older country. There were moments that I really heard that in a couple of tunes that you did. Next to the last one, again, goes back to those last 2 songs are real strong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I liked all the songs, but I guess the last 2 you heard was naturally what's on your mind. But
Yeah.
they to me were, they both had something to say that I think a lot of people could appreciate.
Absolutely.
Where do you feel like you'd like to be 2, 3, 4 years from now? Would you be happy just touring around Texas, or like I mentioned earlier, is there a country you would like to go to that and tour other than in the States, or do you just pretty much want to stay here?
Yeah, eventually I'd like to hit Europe. I think anybody does.
Yeah. They love
Yeah.
American music over there.
Right.
They're big appreciators of it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think writing these 8 songs, or putting these 8 songs together on this record coming out next year, they're a little bit, simpler chords and a little bit maybe more universal music, but also more personal stories.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just got a different approach than I've taken in the past with my songwriting that I think.
Right. Do you have a
Hit
band that
differently.
you work with when you're in the studio? And
We do.
Yeah.
I've been working with a couple of the guys from my band for 5-6 years, and other parts of my band have been kind of rotating.
it's hard to keep them all the same people together, isn't it? If you can, wow, you got something we need to know about.
Right.
Now, have you done shows with Ken before?
I haven't played a show with Ken before.
Oh yeah.
So this'll be
is
fun.
gonna the first.
This will
Yeah,
be
this will
fun.
be really
Have you
really
wanted to? Is it
Yeah.
something you've really,
Yeah.
since especially knowing him for a long time?
Yeah, we just both get busy in our own. He's
Right.
down closer to Houston, and I'm
Mhm.
further north up in Dallas, and I stay pretty busy up there, so it's hard to.
Ken
find
is one of
sometimes.
those songwriters that I love that if there's a gig, he'll go play it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I believe he'd drive to Rhode Island tomorrow if it was right. You know?
That's right.
You know, it's just the way
He's
he
a
is.
road
He's
warrior.
a road warrior, and he goes out. You know, you've got to believe in your music. You got to believe that wherever you take it, people are going to buy it and buy into what you're doing, and I believe they will with you if you stay real. Just stay real.
Be Jenna.
Yeah, be Jenna. Don't try to write like somebody else, or you know, it's okay to put yourself in somebody else's shoes to write, but you got to stay true to yourself, you know. And that writing style, I'm sure you've seen change over the years. You know, when we start writing, it's usually simpler. You know, as Hank Williams said, 3 chords and the truth. You know.
How old were you when you wrote your first song?
Maybe 16, 17.
Yeah. Do you still play it today?
I do.
Do you?
Actually.
Good.
Yeah. It's getting re-recorded and going on the next record.
Perfect.
Did you play it tonight?
I did not play that one in
Okay.
particular.
So we'll have to.
We'll have to do that,
Have to do that.
in November.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd be good. I had heard of you from another source or two up in North Dallas that had seen you play in Deep Ellum, and they were old songwriting friends from Dallas Songwriters Association, and they'd seen you and talked about that they liked you and they thought that you'd be a good fit down here, and I think you're going to be a good fit.
She already is. What are you talking about?
This is the way it works. So, tell us about who you would like to write with. Is there somebody that you'd like to sit down and just be able to write with, that you like their songs enough to feel like you could put your heads together and come up with something?
I don't have much experience with collaboration.
Well, she
But
does have
I
a
do-
boyfriend that's a singer-songwriter.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
Now, do y'all write together at all?
We haven't written songs together. We do, sing together. I sing mostly in his band.
Mhm.
What's his band's name?
He's Mike Randall in the High Road.
Okay.
He just put out a record that I was on a couple years ago.
Now, are they also playing around
Oh, yeah,
Metroplex?
He is busier than I am. That's for sure.
Well, listen, we appreciate you coming down tonight and giving us a little bit of Jenna talk,
Bet.
and we're looking forward to having you back.
After
I guess
Thanksgiving.
the few days after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah, when everybody's ready to get together again, they've had enough relative interest, and they're ready to
That's
get,
right.
they're ready to get out amongst them, as the old Baptist preacher says. So.
Yes. Yes.
Well, listen, we love who you are and what you do, and keep it up.
Thank you so much.
And everybody, you are in the music room.